Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. My God. I mean, we've been waiting for this for a while now. We now know that Caleb Williams. I don't know why I'm doing that. What's good, y'all? It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Of course, we always have the super producer, Joel Holt, in the building. The man formerly known as Ringo J. Stefan Nadine and Jordan J.C., host of the Chicago Bears Breeze, and of course, from the ATS Report in the building. Tune in with him on all those channels. Both of them are killing it. He's got some great draft breakdown going on over there as well. If you're wondering why I'm here, mind your own business. No, I'm at my mom's house, not in the studio, clearly. Yeah, I mean, but we're still coming with some pretty good quality here. I'm not mad. I wish I didn't have the light behind me here. It focused better on the face. That's a personal thing, though. Don't worry about that. Caleb Williams has declared for the draft, boys. The number one overall pick is the Chicago Bears. Want to talk about some of the pros and cons that you actually get with Caleb Williams, because I feel like it's been very... I'm either on the field side or I'm on the Williams side. And so if you're on the field side, it almost seems like you have to literally basically say Caleb Williams is a piece of garbage, and he's not. I've had a few days to do some tape breakdown here. I'm going to tell y'all this. Just like Justin Fields made it a very difficult decision, and there he is. Knew he'd be late. All righty, here we go. Bow. And
hey, Restream wasn't letting me in, baby. I don't know what it was.
That's always a reason there. I got to adjust my camera. Here we go. No, right. You're either a Justin Fields guy or you're a Caleb Williams guy. If you're a Fields guy, you have to crap on one. If you're a Williams guy, you have to crap on the other. And I think watching the tape, Caleb Williams does make things a little bit difficult when you watch his game. So I want to talk about some of the pros and cons there. Also, how far are the Chicago Bears away from actual playoff success? Wild card weekend was a kick in the gonads for most Bears fans. I'm not going to lie to you. There was not much that I left feeling good about in Wild Card Weekend as a Chicago Bears fan, and that sucks. So we'll talk about all that and more on today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do, man. What's going on, boys? How y'all feeling?
Why is Steph looking like a Sith Lord?
Hey man, I'm
everybody said that already.
Again. My house.
What do you do?
My house.
Senator Palpatine over here.
Hey, Joel said evil Kermit, and that may be the greatest joke I've ever heard. hey, Ringo's on that. What you say? Ringo said, we're not gonna draft Caleb Williams.
Do it.
We're
not gonna trade Justin. Do it.
Listen,
I feel like you're about to shock everybody on the line.
Darth Ringo. That's
a
the bar right there.
Yo, the greatest meme that I saw from last night's wild card is they took not Jerry Jones. They took why can't I think of from the coach that was giving the speech to Dallas.
Mike McCarthy.
No, not the coach of Dallas on the broadcast. The old Dallas coach, Jimmy Johnson. They had Jimmy Johnson pointing into the camera, and they was like the last thing Mace Windu saw. I was like, you know what? Y'all are sick.
Hey.
Y'all are sick people out here. Somebody said, J-Mod said he's trying to save on his heating bill.
Hey,
Ringo said it's cold out here.
It's cold out here, baby. It's real cold. But no,
let's jump into this, man. Let's jump into this. I mean, Caleb Williams, pros and cons. Everybody at this point has watched some Caleb Williams outside of just the Notre Dame game. I would implore people to do more than just watch the Notre Dame game. I know that that's why we're here in Chicago, to only watch Notre Dame, but he played more football than that, guys. He did. What are you guys seeing? By the way, just to get us started, I still have my soundboard. Over 100 in the chat.
100.
That's a start.
Breeze Nation. We got Baki, Chris Kyle, Tricky Tips. I mean, Tricky Tips.
Yo. Whoa.
Hey.
All right, Kim. So what were you gonna say?
They kind of fast there.
There's a lot of stuff going on. Hey, I'm shouting all the folks out. Y'all don't want to shout them out? It's fine. I'm just saying. What's up to Breeze Nation out there? How y'all doing? Hopefully everybody's staying warm.
I'm gonna go dead into it. This weekend showed us that realistically, if you still have questions about what Justin can do, it may be time. I looked at what Jordan Love was, and we trashed Jordan Love earlier this season. We're like, oh, he played the Bears. It was just, they called us off guard, stuff like that. And we called this Packer team pedestrian all season. All of a sudden, they click at the right time. But Jordan Love, hey, he's not out there just having like lucky throws, if lack of a better phrase. That man's out there balling. That man's out there balling right now.
I'm glad he said
you look
that.
at what CJ Stroud was able to do, and I know different situation. We're still talking about another rookie having his first year starting in the NFL. He's balling right now. Like what he did to that Cleveland defense was crazy. And I know it's collectively, but again, just quarterback play. What he did with his arm, not just his legs, what he did with his arm. It's like, hey, listen, are you sure Justin can do that? Are you definitively sure he can? If the question isn't, are we going to be better? If is he better than Justin? It's if by 3 years in, are we going to have like what is he going to look like? Because if I don't think
that's the conversation that we've been having, right? I want to more so say, what does Caleb Williams bring? Because if we go down to what can't Justin Fields do path, we'll never actually get to the point here.
I mean, Caleb Williams definitely has a lot of strengths. I mean, you talking about Caleb Williams?
Y'all both talking at the same time.
There's a reason that Getsy was fired. So to me, whether he's a scapegoat, they didn't just fire him. They fired a few of those coaches on the side of the ball. So how do we know that, if the lack of creativity of a play caller, like I'm going to say, we're not blind to see that if Fields may have some limitations in terms of processing, but he can definitely throw the ball. But does he have does he have the players he needs? Does he have the scheme? We're still missing a lot of pieces. And I just think that you want these quarterbacks to sit there and like overcome a lot of this stuff. Like, I feel like, first of all, CJ Stroud, I mean, he went number 2, right? But the whole point was like, no, it was either Bryce Young and then CJ Stroud. The CJ Stroud was not getting that type of love. And I think that either the motivation is there for why he may have felt disrespected. It might be the coaching staff. The team is a little bit more better built for him to do what he's doing. Because I think if he came here, he'd still be running for his life.
I don't think the team is better built. I don't by any means think Houston's better built than the Bears. I think that
on the offensive side,
they're not. Who would you rather have? Tank Dell or DJ Moore?
So then
you can't even. Let's be real. We didn't even pay attention to the other receivers on that team outside.
No.
Outside of Tank Dell, and Tank Dell went down. It's like, oh, there's other guys that are able to step up. Like I agree. I think that CJ played well, but to me, right, like I think you're in a situation now where, not to say that I don't want Justin Fields to be here, but I think this comment by Ebony Sales is great. If the Cowboys had the number 1 pick, they would move off of Dak, and Dak is better than Justin. The choice is clear to me. I'm not saying that the choice is clear to me. I don't think I don't think Justin Fields can't do these things, but I do think you have to look at the quarterbacks that are above Justin and say, okay, if you're Ryan Poles, what move are you going to make? Because for me, when I look at when I look at Caleb Williams, right, I do see a lot of the same things that Justin Fields can do. We could talk about the height difference, the weight difference, all of that. I do see a lot of those same things. And yes, maybe I would rather have the veteran that's already in it. I would rather have the guy that's 3 years in, because I know we got 3 years with this defense. Is Caleb Williams going to pick this up immediately? With the weaknesses, I see a lot of the same weaknesses. The one thing for CJ Stroud to me, I'm sorry, I keep saying CJ Stroud, for Caleb Williams to me that I think is probably better than Justin right now, just from watching the tape, is he's not taking time to make decisions, even with a great offensive line. He's sitting there, set hut, 1-2, letting the ball rip. He's not holding the ball a long time. Now, does he big play hunt? Very much like Justin Fields, 110%. But for me, with the Bears offensive line, because I can't count on we're going to find a starting center, we're going to find a starting left tackle no matter what. The answers are already there. I do have to question whether Justin can get his release time quicker. I'm not saying that he can't. I believe that he can. I believe that with better play calling and underneath routes, there's going to be more opportunity for him to actually get the ball out quicker. But you do have to look at this and say, there's a talent here now that is coming in that does a lot of the same things that Justin Fields does. And the weaknesses, I guess, are similar, but he's a rookie.
Right. So you're resetting the clock. I think, like we all talked about, whatever Poles wants to do, we're gonna roll with. We're still Bears fans when it get down to it. I do not dislike Justin Fields. If he's still here, I'm happy. If they move on from him, I hate to see him go. I just think we're talking about ceilings, right? We're talking about what ceiling of greatness are we talking about getting? Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins are right about here.
No,
and we're talking about does Justin Fields get to does he get to this point, or does he get to a ceiling that we want? Like everybody says the barometer is your boy in Kansas City, right? That's where we're going. Mahomes is the barometer. Where is everybody that fits into this barometer? So that's where everybody does. Fields right now, he's not there, but can he get there to a certain point? Is Caleb Williams on a trajectory that puts him already above Fields in year 1 or 2 versus some of the other guys that's out here? That's what it gets down to.
Don't you think that's disingenuous to expect that, though?
What?
Like the conversation is he better than Fields in his rookie year? And it's like, realistically, isn't that a disingenuous way to approach it?
No, because I think that's how you have to approach it if you're talking about making the playoffs right away. Right? Like you have to approach coming into this season as, are we going to become a team that can compete for a championship now versus in 3 years? I do think that is a part of the evaluation, because guess what? Like we've said, most defenses you're getting 3 to 5 years. You could draft a rookie QB, but you have to know, and here's the main thing, you have to know that the QB that you draft, because your coaching staff is going to have major input in that, is going to hit right away. Because Matt Eberflus got 1 year. I don't care what they say. I don't care how they go out there. Matt Eberflus has 1 year. So by you keeping Matt Eberflus in the building, you shortened up your timeline. Now, if you go rookie or if you go brand new head coach, brand new quarterback, your timeline's a lot longer. You have more opportunity to say, Caleb, you can develop. You can take as much time as you want. We're going to figure it out. We're here to work with you. But you're going out there now. You're looking for OC candidates because you decided to hold on to Matt Eberflus. You deciding to hold on to Matt Eberflus means that your timeline now is, okay, you better be in the playoffs next year, because the same structure that's in place this year is still going to be in place in year 1. And guess what? What shortens that window even more is what we just saw this weekend. CJ Stroud walked in the door and dominated in a playoff game. You better make the right decision day 1 on this draft, or you're going to be in a bad position.
Yeah. Here's my thing. I wanted to go back to what Ebony Sales said before we kind of go too far off of it, is her comparison to Dak Prescott and how if they're going to move off from Dak Prescott.
Ebony is a dude, bro. I think Ebony's a dude, bro.
Ebony's a dude, but it's okay.
Come on.
I honestly didn't know that all this time. My bad, Ebony. My bad.
Don't worry about it. I did the same thing last live, bro. Don't worry.
Hey, listen. I'm not gonna lie. Ebony, you are a dude, right? Like, did we confirm this? I guess we didn't confirm.
That's not even a joke. But my point is basically what he said is that Dak Prescott has had I think that Dak Prescott has had so many chances to get it right. You see the team that he has around him. Dak Prescott literally had one of the best, if not the best, offensive lines in the game for a very long time. Yeah. He had an Ezekiel Elliott in his prime. He's got Tony Pollard now. He's got CeeDee Lamb, who is probably the best receiver statistically in the game this year. And so with all that in mind, Justin Fields has nothing close to that. He doesn't have a complete team. So when we're talking about comparing him to Justin Fields, you can't really do that. And that's why I think if you're talking about going with Caleb Williams has so many red flags with me. I've mentioned this before in my ATS Report channel, is that this dude, when the lights are the brightest, his numbers are very, very alarming compared to non-top 25 teams. You got 172 passing average. The man is 4-9 against top 25 teams in his 3-year college career. And all of that in mind, that's what you have to factor in. If you go with him, do you think that you're going to be closer to being a playoff team, or are you going to regress just because you want to start over on a rookie contract?
That's a great point as well, because if you are 100% with it, the one thing we can say about CJ Stroud, whether you wanted to take him or not, that record versus top teams in college was elite. He was somebody that when the moment was the brightest, he came out and played. What you got, Ringo?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, first off, to Joe's point, because I said this when we was in the game chat yesterday watching the game. I got to put some respect on Kirk O'Baines, because that was Dak bad self.
Hey,
that's Dak bad self. Kirk wouldn't have did that. Kirk wouldn't have did that.
Kirk wouldn't have did that.
Kirk wouldn't have did that.
No, you said Dak Prescott and Kirk are the same. I ain't gonna lie. Dak moved down for me. Dak went the other direction.
Okay, Kirk here, Dak there.
Now,
both better than Justin.
But anyway, with that being said, in terms of like hitting on the QB in terms of what you guys said, I don't understand why we keep. I understand why we keep talking about CJ Stroud,
Yeah.
but as it pertains to the 2 games that we saw yesterday, you just need to focus on beating getting better than the Lions and the Packers, because right now they are so far ahead of you, that it is ridiculous. They're talking about now that the Lions are way better than the Cowboys. And the Cowboys got what, 10 all pros on the team right now. So it's literally to me just, you have to be able to hit on the QB and get the right person in the room as far as OC and DC, because right now, if you don't, forget about the QB. The 2 teams in your division who are better than you are lapping you right now, and it's not even close.
I would say this.
What?
Wait.
I'll give you that, because here's the one thing that I don't. Here's what I don't want. Our show will never become, at least with me. Oh, by the way, over 300 in the chat.
Hey, stop playing.
Crazy.
Here's the one thing that I guarantee our show will never become. And hit the like button if you rock with this concept. The things that are excuses for Justin Fields because some people want a quarterback will be the reason that we will sit here and defend Caleb Williams for the next 3 years. So for me, you still have a lot to address player-wise on this team. We can sit here and talk about, oh my God, well, why is Jordan Love looking so good? How are you able to develop a quarterback? How are they able to put another guy? Because he's on a team that was built for Aaron Rodgers to succeed on, and that Aaron Rodgers did succeed on, and the play caller is still in place. So the system that he's been in is the same system that he's been in. And on top of that, he's had his starting center. I mean, like, having a starting center in the NFL might be the most important thing that you need as a quarterback. And they've had that. Guess what? Jared Goff has had those things. Like, to me, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that these are excuses for Justin Fields, when guess what? Everybody who's move on from Justin, I'm excited about Caleb. Guess what? The first things they're going to be saying when Caleb gets in here, well, we still got to figure out this left tackle position, and Ryan Poles got to address the center, and we need more weapons on the team, and so I just want it to be, for me, that's something key, because you can call these excuses because, a good quarterback will be able to overcome them, but they're only excuses if they're not for your guy. They are real things. Yeah. You need a starting center.
That's what I'm saying.
But to your point, like what Ringo, you said, and Pat, everybody respects LaFleur, right? And they respect LaFleur gets respect. And
I think he just got it. I think he just got it in that playoff
game. He has gotten respect.
It's definitely solidified now.
He had Aaron Rodgers as an MVP in that offense. So
but everybody,
he struggled. He struggled the year before that, but my point is that with him, he did very well. He got some respect with Rodgers, and now he has with Love. The same thing in case in point in Detroit. Goff doesn't get the respect. Is anybody saying, man, I want Jared Goff in my squad? Or like, he's cool, but the coordinator gets way more respect for his scheme. And it shows you that the coaching and it makes all the world of difference. We sat there and suffered through this Bears season. Now, I think if we get Caleb Williams, whoever we get, the scheme that we put out there has to work to whatever the quarterback that we're putting out there. Yes. And you can't sit there and not throw any slants. All you're doing is throwing screen passes all freaking season. Like, what are we supposed to do with that? And then everybody's like, Justin sucks. Well, you got a guy that's not even creative enough to figure out a game plan. Yeah. So we're still in the middle of a rebuild. So I just think that if they make the trade, it's definitely a business decision. I think they can be successful with whoever they draft or keep Fields. Either way, I think we're going to be fine, because you see who they're picking. I think they were tipping their hand by the 3 coordinators that they picked. It's like they're keeping the same kind of continuity. They're keeping the same type of scheme or concepts based off of who they're interviewing. So either they're keeping Fields, which means that he can have that continuity. So it's like, hey, there's an insider report that we may take Caleb Williams or Drake May. But it's like, well, let's make sure we sell this. We want to sell this pick to the highest bidder as possible. Or they actually are going to make the move, and we get another quarterback regardless.
I'll
I
be
just
honest
think
with
that I'd rather build a team though.
that part that you just mentioned, and it was small, but you said the business of football. I think that's more in play this season than it was last season. And we talked about that heavy last season, this whole QB clock thing and stuff like that. But no, that's really real this time. Like it really is. If you think Justin Fields' agent is going to let him walk away, I think Shannon Sharp said this. If you think Justin Fields' agent is going to allow him to get anything less than $40 million a year after they have already in a position where they have to pick up his 50th option if they keep him, you crazy. And that would be so the business of football, while all the things that we're saying is correct, the business of football still exists, and it's still something that has to be addressed. And it's something that is like, hey, Ryan Poles may not be in a situation where he can immediately address this potential QB situation by trading back or doing everything else. And that's a reality. That's not something that's like here's like half thought out. That's a reality. If he passes up on this one and we are in a situation where Justin's not the guy, you've now picked up his 5th-year option. You now have to worry about committing to him. And on top of that, you've passed up twice on addressing one of the situations that the Chicago Bears have never figured out. That right there is just as damning as anything else.
I don't think we've built a line.
I'm gonna be real with you though, right? The most important, like everybody keeps talking about how the heck do the Packers keep finding this quarterback? I was talking about it. I said I put it on Twitter. I said I think it's us. It's us. You want to know why? Because we haven't gotten when's the last time we got the offensive coordinator position right?
90s. 80s.
Buddy Ryan?
Man, I can't.
Buddy Ryan?
That's a defense.
I'm sorry, he's defense. I mean, like.
Oh, there's your point.
What are we
never got it right.
Ron
like,
Turner's
when is the last
time?
time? Ron Turner, maybe.
Like
maybe.
3 years.
Maybe.
He came back twice.
And it's like that's the part where no matter what situation, you know what I can deal with? I can deal with the Caleb Williams not doing the press conference. There's some leadership issues for me that, like I ain't gonna lie, like I said, this keeps playing out like draft day. Like nobody showed up to his birthday party. Was he invited or what's going on with that? Like it's kind of weird. But I don't know. Reasons, right? Reasons. I would hope that Ryan Poles does his due diligence on that. But for me, when I'm looking at the next quarterback of the Chicago Bears or the current quarterback of the Chicago Bears, we haven't gotten the offensive coordinator position right ever. And we're sitting here and we're saying that this quarterback isn't good. And meanwhile, we keep seeing quarterbacks who literally every year go to some random team, some miscellaneous team, whatever it is, right? And because the coordinator's right, all of a sudden that quarterback can play.
Dude,
what was that?
All of a sudden, magically,
and that's why I'm saying, like, to me, we have to understand that what we're seeing right now from the Packers, what we're seeing right now from the Lions, like these teams, like possibly next season, maybe both top 5 in the league, and we still talking about something. Oh well, if we get the quarterback right and he gets us to 10 wins, we might.
They traded away.
It's not gonna happen like that. Their roster is far and away.
But I think
better than anything that the Bears got right now.
The O-line and the D-line got.
Let me put it like this, right? If I give you Wagyu steak and I give you the finest onions from Egypt and I give you the finest leeks from Somalia and I give you the greatest wine from Italy and I give you all these top ingredients in the world and I go give it to a fry cook at McDonald's, you think I'm gonna get a phenomenal meal? Phenomenal.
Beautiful garbage.
No, I'm gonna get a steak, egg, and cheese McMuffin with a side of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, still getting
it goes hand in hand.
You know, so for me, I need to see the Bears get the development part right as far as putting guys. I can give you DJ Moore. I can give you Justin Fields. I can give you Tyler Scott. I can give you all of this stuff. And Tyler Scott, I like how I threw his name in there. That was hilarious. Tyler Scott, I could give you all of these pieces that at the beginning of the season, we can sit there and go, these are good football players. And if you run screen pass after screen pass after screen pass after screen pass after screen pass to the point where the defense goes, hey, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. Guess what we knew they was running? The screen pass.
They knew what they were doing in Tampa Bay in week 2.
If you're doing that, then yes, I have some questions. Because you know what? Jordan Love could barely do in college. Play quarterback. Like he wasn't that good. Like he was a mediocre college quarterback, and all of a sudden he's dominating playoff games. You know what I mean? Like
the thing is,
you have a chef that can put you in the right position in Green Bay. That's what I want to see the Chicago Bears get right now.
Let me add to that.
And again,
I'm getting old. I gotta remember my point. The thing is that what's the name?
No, you did just put that old man thing on that.
Oh Lord!
I'm trying. Russell Wilson is a prime example with Sean Payton. He was trash. He's done. They get Sean Payton as a coach, and they're a little rocky, but then they're starting to take off. Now, business decision is, I guess, why he's not playing.
Yeah, that's the business of football right there.
This is a coaching, the last coordinator was trash. He doesn't get any respect. Now you bring in a Hall of Fame coach, and all of a sudden they're starting to cook a little bit. You do have to have talent, clearly, but if the coaching is right, if the scheme is right. So whether we get Justin Fields or Caleb Williams, we need to know who the coordinator is that can actually game plan something. Sorry, 426 in the chat, by the way.
400 in the chat.
400. Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Ringo? I'm sorry, man. I had to just get that out. Go ahead, Ringo.
400 on the playoff.
What I was saying was, it's every year we talk about a couple of guys. Every year, even when we get to that pro day, I mean, he can make all the throws. I see it. I see this. I see this. It was the same thing with Jordan Love. Nobody said he couldn't make the throws. He just, but LaFleur put him in position. And if we get us dude time and a great offensive line, which I know that we can develop,
two running backs
that seems to leave, we just keep bringing them out. He'll be able to showcase those throws, and I feel like in this system he'll be able to be a franchise QB. So it's literally one of those things where it's like you got to be patient and like we said all last week. It's like Pat said, if you're gonna trust Pose that he's gonna make the right decision. But I will say, like, that yesterday just showed me that, like, he has to be on the money with that decision, because the Lions and the Packers are lapping the Bears right now, and it's not even close.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that too, because I thought that was an interesting thing that I looked at, right? Talking about, how far are the Bears away from playoff success? How far are the Bears behind the other two teams in the NFC North? I mean, I think the Vikings are kind of at their end. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do with Kirk Cousins. Yeah. They're probably going to end up having to move off of him because of the injury. And at this point, he's 700 years old. He's still going. He's probably still going to have like another 4 years in the league, throwing 4,000 yards and going out the first round.
Flacco, dog. Why are you doing like that?
Hey, by like a year, brother. Come on now.
Give him his season, baby. Give him his season.
I think we become the AFC East back when the Patriots, the Jets, and the Dolphins were, fighting against each other like this.
Here's the problem. Which one are we?
Well, I don't know yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. Right? Now, we could be the Dolphins in that situation. That wasn't a good time for the Dolphins.
It's three good teams. My point is that, or even Buffalo, whatever. But the point is that we're gonna have three squads in the NFC North, because this offseason is a very pivotal year of like grabbing more talent. Are we getting this three technique? Are we going to fix this O-line? Where we need three linemen. We need at least two defensive linemen. And I think from there, if you can do the extra stuff like a receiver, another safety, this team, because the way that they were starting to play, the problem is like they've had these flashes of brilliance and they just didn't put them together. You know what? I thought of a point, since we can name drop Mike Singletary when he was on the show last week.
Phenomenal. Mike Singletary pulled up.
Remember what he said.
Samurai.
He said, you got to respect the coach.
Yeah.
You got to follow the coach. And if you do that, you're not going to be able to like play, or if you go off what the coach says, which is why like what Fields had to do. Remember when he said coaching, he told on them way long ago, and had to come back and double back. I wasn't putting my coaches under the bus, because if you go against the coach, that's going to put you in a bad light. And so I just think that like everybody wants a quarterback to come in.
And then the rest of the team did, and the GM.
Yeah.
and the head coach. And
Now, no, they all did it later.
Yeah.
Later.
But they
Yeah,
fired
after
him.
week 16.
hey, Getsy got to a point where it was just like, fight back, fight back, fight
Oh
back.
no, guess he fought back.
No, let him get up. Let him get up. Let him get up.
Hey,
So,
but
I
guess he
just
kept doing
think
Justin has
you're-
the ability to audible.
You're not going to get a quarterback that they don't want you to go off script as much. And I think that's the problem. Like, even with Caleb Williams, he does a lot of off script things.
Yeah, a
You
lot
know,
of the stuff
But
he does is
you
off
need
schedule.
that though.
A lot
No,
of the
that's
stuff he does
fine.
is off schedule.
But the problem is that what the whole point about Fields not even running around like he does anymore, if he keeps developing bad traits and not really learning how to pass first and really get in there and then use your legs to extend the play, kind of like what Mahomes does.
Yeah.
You don't want to develop bad traits of not knowing how to have pocket presence. And so I just think that you can't expect that from a rookie quarterback coming in here. He's just going to be super whatever and then just win all these games. He has to follow the script, whatever they got, the program that they have.
Well,
I think
but
that's
here's the
double-edged
thing, right?
sword,
They
if I make
go
if I
ahead.
may, Joe, because realistically, Mike Singletary also said that a QB can develop bad habits, and some of those bad habits are some of the things that you just mentioned, right? So, like the one thing about a newer QB, and I'm not saying I'm not a Williams guy. I've been a Daniels guy in this conversation, realistically, but I understand it. But like realistically, you come in with a clean slate, doesn't have those same tendencies. And you get to start fresh, and starting fresh with an OC. Like if you're clearing house, you start fresh with your OC, start fresh with your coach. You can start to develop that now. Whereas the other end of it, you're talking about having to undo negative traits that's already developed in Justin, as opposed to realistically allowing someone else to handle that problem. It really is a darn if you do, darn if you don't situation, because it could go either way. Because Justin does have those negative traits that.
But I think that's the thing, right? Are you putting yourself in a position where you're more further away from actually moving forward in this division? That's the biggest question that Ryan Poles has to answer. Because, yeah, sure, right? Caleb Williams may come in. He's fresh. He doesn't have the unlearned things that even though there's going to be a lot that he does in college that he's going to have to unlearn. Like, and Lincoln Riley just be letting them go out there and just throw it.
Hey,
run!
Figure
it out. Hey, Lincoln Riley's system is
be 55-50.
Hey, bro, Lincoln Riley just be like, let it fly, baby. Hey, what play we running here? 4 verts. 4 verts.
Hey,
ain't known for defense.
He just hit.
Here's my opinion on the whole moving forward with Justin Fields over getting Caleb Williams, is because if you want to keep up with the Detroits and the Green Bays, and let's just specifically pinpoint Green Bay, right? Because as much as we may say, oh, we hate Green Bay, you got to respect the way that they go about their business, the way that they draft, and the level of talent they have at the important positions. Because if we're talking about wide receiver, we may have the better receiver in DJ Moore, but that's all we have. They have literally a depth of receivers. They got Dobbs. They got Dontavian Wicks, which is a decent receiver as a rookie. They got a potential star in Christian Watson. They got Jaden Reed, a tight end in Luke Musgrave.
Yeah.
So that offense has been addressed. And I feel like if you go into the draft and you do those same things by trading outside of that first pick and addressing the needs, as we've been talking about ad nauseum, then you can kind of get on that same level and you can start maybe seeing that Justin Fields ascend to a level of where Jordan Love is at
Some
now.
of those the same guys
I think
Aaron
what it
Rodgers
is-
couldn't win with.
Well, I don't.
Christian Watson,
I don't think I
yeah.
ever said Aaron Rodgers couldn't win with him. I said y'all gave him a rookie team. Now, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he didn't like the rookies.
But Christian Watson actually played really well in the second half of the season. He started to develop really nicely
When
last
he
year.
plays, that joke only play like 8 games.
Well, we talk about last year with Rodgers
Yeah.
in the second half. Now, this
Yeah.
year, hey, that man's been out. Can you tell all the players that are on Joel's fantasy team, by the way? No, here's the one thing. Here's the one, right? Hey, he don't never play. I hate this guy. Wait, what? No, but here's the one thing that I will say, and it's the one part that I think Bears fans miss on a lot, right? And it's what I said earlier when you talk about winning in the division. Kid, you mentioned this, right? Do we think about Jared Goff or do we think about Ben Johnson? We think about Ben Johnson because Jared Goff was all right.
Yeah.
And then Ben Johnson came in and all of a sudden we're just like, hey, Jared Goff is kind of an elite quarterback. He can actually compete for an MVP out here. He's going out here dotting mugs up left and right. He just beat Matthew Stafford. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like the biggest thing for moving forward is, are you going to have the biggest decision to me is at the quarterback. The biggest decision to me is the guy putting plays in place, because guess what? For all the bad you can say about Justin Fields, I can say just as much good. For all the bad I can say about Caleb Williams, I can say just as much good. And to me, that means that if you have a coach that puts either of these guys in the right position, you can find success. You can talk about, okay, we're going to go out here and we're going to actually have a quarterback that can make plays. Why? Because the OC made his job easy. And I know people listen to that and say, well, he shouldn't have to make his job easy. Listen, dumb. That's what a coach is supposed to do. You're supposed to give your guy easy throws. You're supposed to give your guy easy passes over the middle. And I think that are there things Justin Fields needs to improve on? 100%. But if you give him the opportunity to make the easy plays, then you allow him the chance, because now people fear what he actually can do with his arms and legs. That allows you that little bit of time to actually go out there and make some of the difficult plays. Guess what? Caleb Williams is going to be the same conversation and shorter. Like he's going to be I believe generational talent when I see it, right? Pat Mahomes wasn't a generational talent coming out. Guess what he is? He's a generational talent.
With a Hall of Fame head coach, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, we don't have that. I don't know how to tell you this, Joel. We don't have a Hall of Fame head coach
like that, though.
You don't? Oh,
I hate to tell you this, Joel, and I hope to God we look back at this in 20 years and we replay this video and talk about how we have a Hall of Fame head coach. We don't have a Hall of Fame head coach.
But Pat, answer this question for me, my brother.
Oh, here we go.
Andy Reid, what did he do with Alex Smith? Who was a failed first round number 1 pick overall?
Well, no, he didn't fix him. He didn't fix it.
No, he got the best out of him. They were 13-3 AFC contender.
I don't know if he got the best out of him.
He was decent.
Hey, dog, that was
what did he do since he left? He got the best.
Jim Harbaugh made it to the same spot with him.
He was.
My point is
the 49ers were in an NFC title game. My argument is I'm not giving the credit to Reid for fixing him. I'm giving the credit to
I didn't say
Harbaugh.
he fixed him. I said he got the most out of him. They were consistently winning in Kansas City. Then he gets a talent like Mahomes.
Yeah.
And now he's taking off. That's all I'm saying. Like the point is that even with a mid quarterback like Alex Smith, you can have success because you got a good scheme, you protect them with running, offensive line, defense, all those things. And the problem was they were a contender for so many years. Now you get a guy with some actual talent. Now, is Fields, is he more, like I said, what's his ceiling? Does he need to just be unlocked because we had a limited play caller? Or that's the observation or the research and whatever that the polls has to do when he's making this key decision.
Is Fields still a better talent
what it
than
is
Jordan
the
Love?
fact that you
wait, say it again, kid.
Is Fields still a better talent than Jordan Love?
Jordan Love?
Yes.
No. Yeah.
Here's what I say. Does Justin Fields have more skill than Jordan Love? Yes. Is Justin Fields a better quarterback than Jordan Love? No.
Thank you, Matthias.
So I think you're saying that. So Jordan Love is more skilled, but Justin has more talent.
Right.
Justin has more talent.
He has the potential to be better than
has
Jordan
more
Love, is
skill,
what you're saying.
Okay.
So like as we're going through the game, right now where we're at now, granted, I'm watching Jordan Love in LaFleur's system, who I've said for a while is really, really good. And for some reason, like all of a sudden, this playoff game, he got his flowers because he finally was able to just destroy a team with Jordan Love. And I thought LaFleur had a really good system that really worked for Aaron Rodgers, but everybody just went, well, that's Aaron Rodgers doing all the work. Aaron Rodgers is calling the plays. No, it's not. It's Matt LaFleur. Having a good system works. But I think that there's that pairing's gonna be tied together for a long time. So you're gonna have a head coach with Jordan Love that's going to put him in positions to be successful more times than not. It's up to Jordan Love to take advantage of those.
We got a super chat
I think
Adrian. Go ahead, Ringo.
I think if anything, right, it's kind of like Pat was saying about how I think you were saying last week about if I bring Justin this tablet and I go, hey, can you do this? And he's like, yeah. And he goes out and executes it. That's one thing. That's one thing. I feel like when they're interviewing these OC candidates, these guys are coming in and polls will be like, hey, okay, we got Justin and we got Caleb. Can you fix these little things within Justin to quote unquote, as Joe would say, unlock him. Because then if he can, we got no qualms about it. Like if you think about it, right? The Patriots tried to do the same thing with Mac Jones when they brought in Bill O'Brien, but at that point, it was the damage was done. He messed up his mechanics, footwork was messed up, and there's only certain things that you have to fix.
You can break a quarterback.
Yeah, there's certain things that you have to fix within Justin to possibly get him on the right track. The question is, whoever you bring in, can they do that and can they do it quick? Because you need to get in this conversation of being one of the 3 best teams in the NFC, not just the NFC North.
Damn, we got a couple super chats.
I see a chance for us to be the Seattle Seahawks. I was about to say Seattle Supersonics. Y'all see that? I was about to say we got a chance to be the Seahawks though.
Baby. You talking about the Russell?
Whoa! What version?
You talking about the Russell Wilson?
The Russell Wilson Seahawks.
Yeah, if you protect them.
No, but what I mean by that is the reason that was possible is because they drafted Russ in 2012. They won in 2014. So they won in his going into his 3rd season, but they were able to actually build around him. And that's
insulated him. Marshawn Lynch was the biggest piece on that.
We have that opportunity here, even with drafting a QB. And I'm not going to go back to the Fields thing, but even with drafting a QB, you have that opportunity here. There's a winning scenario on both sides of this conversation. And so, like you all said, it's not necessarily about just the QB itself, because we all will agree Russ got better after 2014. 2014 wasn't his best season, right? So, but they were able to build around him. They were able to keep that defense together long enough for it to happen. You have that opportunity here. You really do. No matter who you pick, no matter who you keep, you have the opportunity here. Now, the business of football comes into play sooner with Justin. So, how long can you sustain being on that trajectory? Changes. But either way, I think you have the opportunity to do it. Now, is that going to be good enough to compete against Green Bay? That's the question we have to answer, because realistically, our playoff success is going to be determined about how well we do within our division. Are we going to be good enough to compete with the people in our division?
Well, I say this. We already are. We already did that.
And if our coaches aren't some punks, that's all. It was all coaching. The fact, like Detroit, they beat the brakes off Detroit for 3.5 quarters.
Yeah, they should have won that first one.
You know, they were smashing Denver. When they started to finally kind of click, they got scared. They played scared down the stretch when we got a lead. We don't know what to do with it. Keep scoring.
Yeah. It is insane that only in football is their sport where it's like, that's enough points.
Yeah, we don't want to run the
this
score up.
Hey, if you score 50 every week, they probably won't beat you most weeks. But
Yeah, I mean,
and then we're gonna have to deal with how it looks, and we're gonna have to talk about it. It is weird that only in football, like in basketball, if I'm up 40 at the half, I hope I'm up 60 by the end of the game. You're not just gonna go, hey man, this game's over. Let's just pull everybody going into the 3rd quarter. That's kind of how we see it in the NFL, though, where they don't pull people, but you definitely stop putting the ball in your best playmakers' hands, play in and play out.
I would say this too. We probably need to really change our focus on team building. I don't know if it's it's Justin Fields or it's Caleb Williams. I, in my mind, think that Ryan Poles is look, I'm building this squad out. I know I need an offensive line. I know I got to get this defense. The defense is maybe this next year away from being a true built defense. Offense could be a year or two, because we got to get this offensive line right, the scheme and all this type of stuff. But if he's going to get these picks like he just did, Justin Fields may not be in the plans, just like it was hard to see Roquan leave. Yeah. And so it's I want the offensive line. We have not truly built an offensive line. It's always been a hodgepodge mix of guys. It's maybe 1 draft pick and 4 free agents versus at least 3 to 4 homegrown talent offensive linemen, because you're going to have to overpay for these dudes. And I think that's the problem. The reality is, I think to your point, or most of the point, even some in the chat, Justin Fields will probably cost $40-some million a year if we keep him, even though we like him. Can we afford that team?
Yeah.
Or, hey, you know what? Look, we got to make the hard decisions. We're still building this team out, building the trenches, getting our schemes in place. and we can get a quarterback because we've seen a 7th rounder go to the 49ers and have a level of success. Even Dak Prescott being a 4th rounder. You got Jared Goff was traded away, and because they were done with him, but he was the #1 pick, but he's not on the Rams no more. Like it just depends on the right fit and the right quarterback for that scheme.
Did Joe just actually articulate what I was talking about?
Right? When you
Are we
look
connected?
at it,
Connected back. That was weird.
We're connected, bro.
No, I was just gonna say, and to that point, right? When you look at it, Poles has been, looking at the Lions and the Packers and saying like, man, okay, they've drafted O-line people, right? So you got Panay Sewell, extra guys on the offensive line for the Lions. Same thing with the Packers. Then after that, you go out, you get your free agents, you get your Devondre Campbells, but then after that, you go draft. Same thing with the Lions. You go out, you get Alex Anzalone, CJ Gardner-Johnson, but then you get Branch, you get Swift. Yeah. Like I think that's exactly what he's looking at, and now he just has to go out and execute it. But Justin may not be in those plans.
By the way, even for the chat, we don't have to make a move in 2 years. 500 in the chat.
500 in the chat.
Man, let's get it.
If you're smart, look. Who says you can't draft a quarterback and still keep Fields, and then he's on the bench? Not that high.
You're not going to draft one that high.
You can have your developmental quarterback on the bench if Fields doesn't work in another year or two, because you can flip him after next year, which would be the 5th year if they take the 5th year option. Straight, like methodical moving. If you take away some of the,
you got that. I don't think you got that much time.
Well, I think here's the tough part is, right, with anything you do, it's like you just said, Joe. It's about developing and putting that guy in place. And this is something that J-Mac has talked about, Jason McKee has really talked about is, the Packers have always had a vet to be in front of the rookie quarterback that's coming in and moving into the right place. Now, the Bears are never going to have that. Guess what? Because we've never had a franchise quarterback. So you got a bunch of dudes that are trying to figure out what they're doing on the fly with probably rookie OC, with most times rookie OCs with the Bears, right? Mm-hmm. And so everybody's trying to learn it at once. The one thing that I do like that the Bears are doing is now you're going out and you're talking to guys that have developed QBs. And it's not the guy who was with the guy that developed the quarterback. Right. It's the guy that developed the quarterback.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shane Waldron not only developed Geno Smith Shane Waldron developed Geno Smith into a better quarterback than we ever thought he was going to be. On top of that, I look at Clint Kubiak and it's like this guy is finding the Bryce Purdy's, working with the Brock Purdy's, and on top of that, listen, as crazy as it is to say, he gave Kirk Cousins one of his best seasons. It just so happened that he was on a staff that all got fired. That's
a fact. Yeah.
Right? He gave because I believe statistically his best season ever, and he just happened to be on a team that ended up firing everybody. Trade
33-7.
Hey, I like man, oh man. I like me some Bijan.
Under who says no? If we trade a quarterback for, well, I guess we get the draft pick.
We trade back for another running back. I'll
be okay with that. We get 8. Well, I need more.
That's not addressing the need, though.
I need more draft capital.
Hey, George, I need more draft capital. The minute he runs for 2,000 yards and catches like 90 passes, and then the Bears make the playoffs, Pat not gonna say a word.
We still
Joe
need
gonna get front row tickets.
Hey, I'm not gonna say a word, and then guess what I'm gonna say when he gets to year 4?
Trade.
Don't do that because you said you would draft it.
Get him out of here.
You said you would take Derrick Henry.
That's one of like 1,000.
Derrick Henry was an anomaly, and he's also to a point where now even I wouldn't take him. I got $3 million for Derrick Henry right now. I got a hot $3 million for Derrick Henry right now if he want to come up in here. Like I'm not sitting here spending money on running backs, bro. Hey, Bijan, appreciate you playing the work version of our game. Everybody remember Todd Gurley, right?
Happened to
Hey.
that
Well, he
guy.
had a knee injury when he came.
Came and went.
What happened?
Came and
What
went.
happened?
He
to
had a
that
knee.
boy?
He had a knee injury. He was a
Hey,
monster. when he was
and guess he was a monster
That's
in the
the point.
NFL. And guess what happened? He kept getting hurt.
he was the offense in the Rams before McVay got there.
Well, that's the thing.
then
Running backs
he-
are so
then he-
interchangeable. I mean, you can trade out one and
Hey,
get
listen,
another.
hey,
You
listen,
got to
from-
address
from-
other
I
stuff.
like what Roshan
From-
Johnson put out there. I don't need to.
From what I
I don't
heard,
know,
hey, look, from what I heard, Jared Goff was putting up 4,500 yards, and he was the offense out there. No matter who else was on that team, you know what I mean? Like I'm
It
just
suffered
saying.
when
Yeah, Dalvin
No,
Cook is a
you
good
know.
name.
No,
You-
listen. Every time Ty Gurley went down, Jared Goff was terrible. Like legitimately,
I'm
every
just saying
single
he-
time.
I felt like they
Jared
ran him
Goff
into the
was a
ground.
running
But they ran him into the ground. He didn't have. That's the problem with those type of running backs. They end up
Hey.
becoming the bell cow all the time. You're not.
I was about to say
balanced.
that's what you do with a bell cow.
Yeah.
Not kill him within 3 years.
Hey, I'm
Like,
gonna tell you
can we
this
get-
right now.
Hey,
Walter Payton was a bell cow every season, and he played a
He's
long
different.
time. Hey,
That's
built
hey,
different.
different. He was built
Get your body
different.
The
up.
Yep.
defense is a lot
Get your
faster.
body up.
nowadays.
Get your body up.
get your
There
body
was
up.
no science back
It's a
then.
lot
It was
different.
literally-
These
They literally fought for their
Trust me.
lives every
Hey,
game.
hey,
right?
the
listen,
linebackers weren't running 4-3 and 4-4 back then. They
Hey,
were.
listen, this is my old man moment. We've allowed so much science to get into the game that players think it's okay to not go as hard.
Ain't nobody
This
running
is
up
my
a mountain
old
no
man
more.
moment.
Hey, and you
You
and
got D linemen
Because
running
I'ma tell you this
five-
right now.
5-1s, dog.
Hey,
They're fast.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. In the early 2000s, how many times we hear about this guy ruptured his back on a 40-yard run, and he played the rest of the game, and he put up another 200 yards. Like, dog, we used to hear about mugs fighting through the pain to get to the next level all the time, and they still had 10-year careers.
No,
12
I
year
think
careers.
they
AP
can
is a good
dominate. It's
name.
just that
Yep.
AP came
and a
back
lot of-
from a torn ACL and destroyed every athlete's career. He literally ruined Derrick Rose's chances at coming back in a normal time frame because of how he came back.
Hey, AP
Derrick
was on
Rose
so
plays
much
a whole
juice.
sport.
AP was on so much juice it should be illegal. I'm sorry, I don't care what nobody say. That was a
Hey,
that's
I don't
horrible.
care what he was on. Torn
That man
doll
was
is
on
legal, baby.
everything known to man.
Torn
I don't
doll
care
is
what nobody
legal.
say.
He was
Adrian
back
Peterson
out
was
there
a-
running.
Oh, I love Adrian. I was so mad we
A
didn't try to get
monster,
him.
bro. Nah,
Monster.
man. Hey, listen. I think
That man
that
found a Lazarus pit. That's what he did.
at the bro, he played for like 10 years after that. Nobody talks about that. Like he had a nice season on Washington that one year he was there
Yeah.
till he got hurt.
Man, found
I think they was still the Redskins when he was there. He might have been the
Yeah.
Commanders. They might have
Yeah,
just
he was.
changed.
No, I think it was the Red. No, he might have been a Washington football team.
Oh, he might have been the
of
Washington
running back
football
position.
team.
Yeah.
But nah,
Oh,
I think at the end of the day, right, and just to put a pin on this because we got playoff football coming up, ladies and gentlemen. We gotta get tuned in on some of that. Bills, are they playing in Buffalo still? I saw that people were
Yeah,
out there shoveling the
they're
stadium.
playing.
They're
Yeah,
still playing
yeah.
there.
They're playing
Like $20 an hour.
No,
And this is why you need a dome.
Dang, I should have went to Buffalo. I
Because
could have
I'm
made
not
some easy
coming
money
out
right
to
there.
those games
Shoveling
with
snow.
that. I'm not doing that.
20
20 an
hours,
hour,
I've just
bro?
been shoveling
20
for
hours.
20
Man, if
Yeah,
I put
it's-
a dome on that thing
slow.
to call it a day, don't nobody want to be bothered with that.
Hey, bro. Hey, JC said I'd have been shoveling slow. I'd have been
Yep.
Hey,
Be out there all day
$28
for them
$20
$20 an hour.
$20 an hour. I think here's the thing, right? The Bears have, I think most of us believe that they have a long way to go. But at the end of the day, you look at the opportunity that they have, and I still say it. This is the offseason where Ryan Poles has the chance to stamp his mark on this team. Because whether he goes quarterback or not, whether he goes, no matter which OC he goes with, we know he's going with Matt Eberflus. These are decisions that he's making that are going to either stain or let his career shine. One or the other. Because it's the first time since he's been here where we look at every decision and say, this is going to affect us for the next 10 years. You don't get the left tackle right, that messes us up for the next 10 years. Because I don't think no matter what, we're going to have a pick this high again. Unless there's like a third fleecing, which then he's the greatest GM of all time.
I'm going for third fleecing. I think we're going to get.
Could be Washington.
Archie Manny's coming up. What makes you think you're going to even be in the
That's-
conversation to get
Because,
If
hey,
you got the draft capital, you can put all of it in to go get them.
Yeah, no, and that's true too, right? Like that's also how you play the game. When you have your team built, you could just say, "F kids point, F these picks."
these picks?
Now
baby.
we're going to get them. You know what I
Now
mean?
we get
So
those picks.
now we can do that. But right now, I don't want to see that. But I like that I like that there's still, like I've said the entire time, I love the options we got. I think we got a lot of opportunity here, and it's going to be fun to see what this is going to be. Caleb Williams declaring for the draft. Make sure that you guys tune in with us the rest of the week as we break down so much more football. Of course, going to be reacting to the playoffs as well tomorrow. And I mean, listen, y'all know what the chat is. There was anarchy in the chat today. There was madness in the chat. I don't know who Leo is, but Leo was getting cooked apparently by everybody.
Leo was getting
like
cooked.
it was like I didn't see
Leo
one
definitely
Leo
getting
comment. I didn't see one Leo comment. It looked like Muzz was just swinging on him. Drop a bird down in the chat. Let us know what you would do in the comments below. Would you trade for Caleb Williams, or would you draft Caleb Williams? Would you trade Justin Fields? Let us know what you guys would do in the comments below. As always, man. For the super producer Joel Holt, Stefan the Dynaman, formerly known as Ringo J, Jordan JC, and the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid. Y'all stay safe out there, man. Big Bird Don. We'll see y'all later. Peace. Did my camera move? What the heck is going on there?
Several times.
I think I moved.